Hi, good afternoon ladies and gentlemen, Fraser McKenzie here, one of the commentators for the Talk of the Devil Racing League, and it's time for our weekly interview. And this week is a man who is a legend in the Formula One community, all the way from South Africa, Mr. Wilem Brits. Wilem, welcome along this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Kenzie. Nice being with you. Nice to have the interview with you today.
It's great to have you along to get your thoughts on what could happen in this week's race. Because just for the viewers, folks, after the race tonight, transfer window is open, so we could end up having a few lineup changes over the next week or so, but we'll wait and see what happens with that. But in the meantime, let's get into the interview. So, Wilem, as I mentioned at the top, that you are a legend in the Formula One community. How long have you been following the sport for?
Geez, Kenzie. I remember watching Formula One with my dad. When Michael Schumacher was driving the Ferrari back in those days. I think it was, prior to 2000, I actually started watching. Since then I haven't missed it a single year.
Fantastic. And how long have you been playing the F1 games for?
Well, I actually started playing on PC. I don't know if you guys remember Grand Prix 2 or GP2, when that came out on PC. And then it went on to Grand Prix 3 on PC, and then I actually went over to the Xbox, where I started on F1 2014. And since then I haven't stopped.
So including this year's entry, folks, that's 6 years of Formula One experience, plus another couple of years experience on top of that with the GP2 and GP3 on the PC. And that's a lot of experience under his belt, and you can see why he's a legend in the community.
Yeah, well, thank you for that compliment.
Well, it's often been brought up in commentary over the last few races that you've been a legend in the community for a number of years now. What are your thoughts on the Talk of the Devil League?
Well, Kenzie, I must say I'm really impressed. Especially to the admin team. I mean, this league is run in such a fashion or manner, if I can put it like that, in that way, that everything just goes according to plan every single racing weekend, and that's what makes it such an impressive league to be a part of. I am in quite a few leagues currently, but yeah, by far my favorite has to be Talk of the Devil Racing League.
Fantastic. And what are your thoughts on season 2 so far?
Well, there's been a few ups and downs for a few guys. I know with the driver transfers happening since last year. I know Gary, which is a fellow South African that actually finished season 1 off on a very good note. Unfortunately, in Abu Dhabi, I think he DNF'd, and if he had actually won that race, he could have finished the league in second, which I think for him is a massive achievement from where he started with Red Bull. But yeah, also Mike from Greece, we've actually became quite good friends on WhatsApp and chatting and all of that. And I mean, his experience as well has taught me also a lot of things with regards to fair and competitive racing. And then, I mean, Callum, we all know what he did last season. It was such a dominant performance. But it seems as if this year, I don't know, for me myself. I mean, the difference between F1 2018 and F1 2019 wasn't just a changeover, and within a week you got used to the cars and the handling and the braking and all of that. It actually took quite a long time practicing before the season or before the league started to get a hang of the handling and all of that, the new features within the new F1 game. But I must say the game itself, made by Codemasters, is absolutely brilliant. Um, and yeah, I mean, for the rest of the guys, I know Kieran, he got promoted. Quite a few guys being promoted up into better cars. There's a lot of fast drivers that I would actually like to see racing the similar type of performance cars on track to see how competitive they can be. I know Dean, the Fat Bean, he's a pretty quick guy. Mike Awesome, he's very fast. He's actually raced with us a few races in our South African league as well, where he hasn't done bad at all. So yeah, I must say I'm really impressed by the performance from guys from the first season over to the second season.
Wow, how's about that? That's a lot of information to take in, but a lot of detail, a lot of experience there. Do you have any goals for season 2?
Well, Kenzo, yes. Hopefully, I can compete with a few podiums in the let's say how many 17 races left, 16 races left of the season. I would really like to maybe uh, compete for podium positions. As you all know, and our viewers that has watched the Talk of the Levels Devil League streams, I am sitting in the Williams. It is the slowest vehicle on the calendar or on the grid, with quite a large margin between them and Alfa Romeo, which is second slowest, I assume, very close to Toro Rosso as well. But yeah, I've had a few good finishes this season already. I think in Australia, I finished in ninth place. Bahrain, let me think. I think it was sure sixth or seventh, which wasn't too bad. China was a bit of a issue with the start, with someone reading up very soon, and the guy that started two cars in front of me actually wasn't at his controller or racing rig when the race started. So the guy in front of me actually pulled over to the side to pass the car standing still. And yeah, I mean, the reaction time to avoid it was just not there, and I had to pit on the first lap. But yeah, once again, Baku finishing fifth. I think it was a very good performance. Unfortunately, a small incident with Panayotto on turn one. But yeah, furthermore, I think pretty decent. Very much improvement from last season from all driver sides, regarding incidents and overtakes and fighting on track, wheel to wheel action. And for me, that's what it's about. If I can go all 50, 60 odd laps, going wheel to wheel with someone, that's what it's about for me, and that's what I enjoy about this sport.
Interesting there. Do you have what's your favourite moment from season 1?
Yeah, well, if I have to be honest, I really enjoyed Canada. I At that point I was still a reserve driver, and I got called up to drive in the Williams, and to actually finish fourth in Canada. with only, I think it was both Mercedes and the Ferrari finishing in front of me. With the Williams, I think for me was the highlight of that season. And then as well, the podium I scored also as a reserve driver when I drove for Alfa Romeo or Sauber in the first season in Hungary, where I finished third with, as I said, wheel-to-wheel action with the Ferraris and Mercedeses as well, trying to keep them behind me, fighting for my position, and at the end finishing in third place. Which was, I think you guys mentioned that the first time in, I think, 19 or so years that a Sauber has been on a podium. So that was the two standout performances for me.
That's all great to hear. Do you consider yourself having a rival in the league?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say a rival. I've got multiple rivals. Should I remain in the Williams or transfer to any other team? I would expect to be, let's say, the best of the rest, which is 6th, 7th place. But should it come to a point where I can maybe join a top team like either Force India, Renault, Haas, the likes of those vehicles, maybe even gunning for first or second, who knows? Anything can happen.
I'm gonna combine these next two questions together. The first part is, who's your favourite Formula One driver, and if you got the opportunity to meet them, what would you ask them?
Okay, sure. That's quite a difficult question. I wouldn't really say I've got a favorite driver, but I've been watching Charles Leclerc from F2 when he was driving 2-3 years back. I mean that young guy impressed me so much, and the way he has developed within a year and a half in Formula One itself. I mean, with last year in the Alpha or in the Sauber, I mean he had very good points scoring finishes. He was very competitive with a car that was not that competitive. So in a way, it feels as if that's exactly what is in the situation I'm in. I know I'm not in a competitive vehicle, but if I drive the wheels of the car every single race, it just can show you that you can score points and you can have good finishes. And I mean, I just have to take today as an example, watching the Belgian qualifying. To end up 7/10 in Q3 ahead of your teammate is something spectacular. I don't know what the biggest qualifying margin has been. I know Mercedes dominated when the hybrid era came in, but for me it was absolutely stunning what he did today. And if I could ask him any questions, is to give me a chance to drive his Ferrari.
Well, I'm sure if you play your cards right, I'm sure that can be arranged. And got a couple of questions left. In your view, what's the best overtake you've seen in all your years of watching Formula One?
Oh, that will actually be. I have to give it to Lewis Hamilton. When was it? Was it last year? 2 years back in Bahrain, where he did a triple overtake into turn one. Yeah.
Oh.
It was either between that one or when Mika Häkkinen overtook Michael Schumacher on Spa a few years back
The
when
Camel-
McLaren and Ferrari were,
Yeah, the Camel
definitely.
Straight, yeah. Yeah.
Those for me are the two most spectacular overtakes, because if you actually look at the movement of Michael Schumacher after he went out of the slipstream from the back marker, the how close they actually got together. It's a split-second decision that a driver has to take, that could actually cause a life-threatening accident, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's not only driving for yourself and trying to overtake as many people as you can. It's like daily road use. You have to actually think for everybody else around you. What are they going to do? Where are they going to brake? What racing line are they going to take? Because at the end of the day, you want to keep the guy behind you for as long as possible. So yeah, those two overtakes for me was totally amazing.
And last question to finish off today with, before I let you get ready for tonight's race in Spain. If you could go back in time, which Formula One car from history would you like to drive?
Oh, I'm not sure what year that is, but I know Kimi Raikkonen drove that Lotus, that black and gold Lotus. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure which year that was, but that car for me was pretty decent, and it looked stunning. And yeah, I'm also a big Kimi fan as well. The cool Iceman. So yeah, that's one vehicle, but I think the ultimate vehicle which still comes up today, and the vehicle Mick Schumacher drove of his dad in Germany this year, the 2004 Ferrari. That, I think, was probably the fastest car, Formula One car ever built, if I'm not mistaken.
Fantastic to hear. Well, Willem, thanks very much for your time this afternoon, and we wish you all the best for the race this afternoon in Spain. This evening, even.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Kenzie. I appreciate your time, and yeah, I can't wait for tonight. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, neither can I. And as always, you can catch all the action on the Talk of the Devil Twitch and YouTube channels. We'll be streaming the races live on Twitch, and the races will be up afterwards on the Talk of the Devil YouTube channel. There's the prospect of a 4-man commentary booth this evening, but who's going to be joining me? Well, you'll need to tune in to find out. But until then, I'll see you guys for the race this evening. It's bye-bye for now.